guys, welcome back to Let's Play Xenogears and the Shevat Palace. Now, after speaking with Maria at the little dilapidated, destroyed house from the war 500 years ago, we can now have access to this area. If we tried to come here earlier, they would have said you can't, or they would have blocked you off in some way anyway. And entering here finally resumes the music. For some reason, the world map-ish type area doesn't have any music. I don't know why. Anyway, now we can go and explore and talk to everybody, but let's go straight for the meat and potatoes of things, and let's go talk to the Queen first and foremost. I don't think anybody says anything different before and after or anything like that, but let's just see who's here. Seriously? What the hell are you doing here? What do you think? You only saw me, what, like 4 episodes ago? In fact, how did you survive id? Uh-huh. Yeah, we heard that. But yeah, the revelation that he's here and we can finally talk to him without him running off or fighting us is just kind of like, oh, go talk to somebody else. I'm not important. Really? Alright, let's talk to you. And we can head in here. Let's go talk to the Queen first. There's a whole bunch of exploring to do in here, and yes, this area is going to take even longer to get through, unfortunately. But there is a lot of important information here, and I do want to make sure I go over it all. So, unfortunately, we are going to be talking to everybody here. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Anyway, we've learned her name, I think, once before. She is Queen Zephyr. Now, there's a few references you can get out of this. Technically, I think the word comes from the Greek, and like Zephyrus, and means west wind. From what I've managed to gather, like in the Greek mythology, Zephyr was, I believe, a goddess, I think. Can't remember. I'm pretty sure. But apparently, she was in competition with Apollo for the love of, let's see if I can pronounce that, Hyacinth? Hyacinth. I don't know. Anyway, apparently he was a mortal, and they both, Apollo and Zephyr, were both after him. One day, that character chose Apollo, and in kind of response to that, Zephyr became very jealous and caused a discus that was thrown with her wind power, whatever. Greek mythology, right? And it managed to hit the hero, kind of like a Hercules kind of hero in that kind of mythology, in the head, killing him. And so, yeah, so she's done this evil thing, but at the same time, later on in another story, she managed to save a character named Psyche, who I did not research much about, from both Apollo and Venus. You could go into Greek mythology for days and days with some of this stuff. It's just not really worth all that time. But just kind of the reference that they're going for, at least from what I've managed to see, is that Zephyr has kind of a balance to her. You know, the good and the bad, and that will become more apparent as time goes by, and that's not really a spoiler to mention. That's just how the character is, and we'll get more of this revealed in time. Anyway, apparently she's just a kid. Kind of does look kind of young there. 522 years old. How? Yeah, I'm starting to doubt you here. Well, how is it possible? Have you now? Where's mine? Actually, I don't want to live that long. The hell with that. That would become very boring unless I had a lot of money to do a lot of different things. Final day approaches because of one man. Wonder who that man is. Our atonement for the tragedy 500 years ago. And I would assume that she's referring to the war that occurred 500 years ago between Shevat and the land dwellers against Solaris. We've heard little bits and pieces about that, I think. Either that or we learn it here and I'm spoiling something minutes before we go into it. Either way, I've gone over some of the dialogue in this area, twice in certain areas. Not all. I haven't gone through all of it once, but certain parts I've gone over twice just because I was trying to figure out specific orders. There's actually a circular room with a whole bunch of people in it, and you really need to talk to them in sequence. So I talked to everyone like 3 times. Just so that I wouldn't be jumping around from different points in the narrative that they're trying to tell you. Oddly enough, it's based on the clock, so it's counterclockwise and then clockwise or something like that anyway. We'll get there in due time. So Wiseman has been doing things under her orders. And keep an eye on that guy. So which guy is that? Aha, so if they haven't explained what this 500 years ago thing was, this is what they're talking about. Apparently, Shevat and the land dwellers fought for freedom against Solaris 500 years ago. So they don't seem to have any power left. They managed to have a flying saucer of a city, though. You guys need help? You have the flying city. Yeah, we've kind of learned a bit about that. Solaris seems to have way too much control over what's going on the surface through the ethos. Though, since they've kind of destroyed their own creation, I guess that's not really too much of an issue anymore. What's not right? Yeah. Maybe. We don't really know much about them. Oh, yeah. I guess that situation hasn't really ended now, has it? We kind of got partway through there and then had to escape way back when. You don't have time. Ah, Roni Fatima. I guess that would be one of his ancestors? Okay. So, if you can't believe us when we're asking you for help, help us, and then that'll prove that we're good. Not really the best explanation. Well, there's a big picture going on in his own country as well, right? Okay. We don't have much time for leisure, huh? Well, I think you actually need to go to a certain point in this area before you can do anything. Let's talk to you again. But yeah, there's a lot of people to talk to. We're going to basically go in every room, talk to everybody, and Wiseman, of course, is motivating us to do that. So let's go into some of these rooms. Not all of them have interesting things in them, but some of them do. Alright, so over here, there's a picture. And a younger brother. Okay, they don't say it here, but that if you come here at a different point, that is revealed that picture is Queen Zephyr. I don't think there's anything else we can do in here right now, actually, or at all, ever. I don't think any of these bookshelves contain any information, but well. So let's go on the other side. The other side just leads up the side of the, I guess, the spire, the tower, the castle, whatever it is. Yeah, nice long hallways there. It's not Final Fantasy 13 hallways, that's for sure. Yeah, this one doesn't actually lead to an... Oh, it does! This is where Marie is. Okay. I forgot about this cutscene. Huh. Oops. Good thing I came up here anyway. Yeah. That's kind of dark and deep for a child. Uh-huh. I guess you could see that a few different ways, but... So you're not from Shevat? Okay. Except for the fact that we just kicked your ass a few episodes ago, but okay. It's a lot of rage in you. Wish I had a different angle for this cutscene, but oh well. So she seems to have anger towards Shevat as well for limiting what she can do. Anyway, we can just walk off the edge there, that's fine. But yeah, there's an interesting cutscene there. It gives a little more background on Maria's character. It's always good to have background on characters. Anyway, with that being said, let's head down here and explore. There are a lot of people to talk to and a lot of rooms. They just talk about there being guards here because reasons. And you, I don't remember what you say. Uh-huh. Please use this room. Welcome to use the bed to rest. Now, can I actually use these beds to rest? There we go. Sure, why not? Not that it's a big deal. I don't even think I was short on HP or anything, but might as well. I'm here. I think talking to her might be the sequence that allows us to talk to the Queen again, but there's a lot of people to talk to before we do that. You may not need to talk to anybody. I'm not entirely sure, but yes. How so? Well, isn't that nice? What do you have to say? So yeah, as we've kind of heard before, both Shevat and Solaris have these gates that are ancient technology. Yeah, in Solaris's case, the gates are on the surface for whatever reason. I don't know why, but the other ones are up here. Well, that seems to be the idea. And which man is that? Are you talking about the same one? Is that who they're referring to? Everyone saying that man. Has it always been Krellian, or was the Queen referring to somebody else? Ah, Krellian holds the true power in Solaris. The irony of fate. Okay. Once he fought alongside Roni Fatima, Queen Zephyr, and Lacan. If you remember a long time back in Nissan, when we first arrived there with the freshly rescued Margie, we got to see a little cutscene with this painting in the cathedral there. And that little cutscene showed another situation, and I believe Lacan was mentioned in that cutscene. I'm not entirely sure if he was or not, but yeah, so Krellian, now in command of Solaris, he once fought against them. So how did that happen? What do you have to say? Ah, I have. It's not her fault, huh? So yeah, this is kind of what I was referring to earlier with the whole Zephyr being a balance of good and bad, good and evil kind of thing, is, you know, you see that she's done some questionable things, but at the same time not necessarily, you know, done on purpose, and this kind of gets revealed more and more over time. That really is kind of the crux of her character, which is kind of interesting. and kind of overplayed out at the same time. We'll get in there. I think I just skipped the door, actually. Oh well. We'll go back. This guy called Manon. I forgot to look up that word because I forgot to talk to this guy ahead of time. Okay. Humans were never exposed to the fear of danger or death. And this is basically the Christianity view of the Garden of Eden and all that jazz. They were banished from paradise. Prosperous times were over and an era of sorrow and hatred began. The first part of the legend of Genesis. And it very much is, isn't it? I'm not sure if it's technically in the book of Genesis in the Bible, but it's part of the kind of the opening ideas that are proposed in that book, so. Alright, now, is it you next that I want to talk to? So we hear a little bit more about them. Solaris's Gazelle Ministry is desperate to find the Anima Relic and Manon, a place known to be God's resting place. Now, I believe that's actually what my research found, but again, I haven't checked that in a little while, so I will do that probably at the end of this episode. Write something down for next time. Yeah, really. Okay. They created 12 Anima Relics. They called themselves gods. So now we know how many Anima Relics there are. Still don't really have an idea of what they do or what this animus that kept being brought up by the Gazelle Ministry is. Okay. Decided to rest in the deepest depths of the earth. But eternity is only a moment, God. Okay. So they were, in a normal situation. When the righteous men's children were born again, God will awaken from its long rest and give them a helping hand. There's some very deep philosophical concepts going on here, which is why I do want to talk to pretty much everybody here in Shevat. There's very few people that don't have something interesting to say. Anyway, Balthazar, old man Balthazar, the grandfather that we met down in those caves, brought Maria to Shevat 5 years ago. Okay. Yeah, we kind of heard that they were trying to escape. Do you have anything else to say? Okay, shut up. Talk too much. Okay. No doubt. That one, even though we kicked its ass, it's still pretty powerful. More powerful than any of the other ones that I think they've used. Of course, it needs to hit me in order to do damage, but that's fine. Alright, let's talk to a Chu-Chu here. How so? Shattered Fragments of a Mirror. Well, I think the ending theme song, the vocal track for this game is actually called Shattered Dreams, Shattered Fragments, Shattered Memories, Shattered something anyway. Or A Mirror Broken. Both those ideas are very ingrained in the music of this game. Can you now? That sounds like a bad idea. Alright. Turn the camera too much. Let's talk to this guy. This is true. Food is one of the most important things ever, because I need food to survive and to eat. There you go. A philosophical conundrum if I've ever seen one. That's a kind of interesting line to see. We'll see more about that later. Alright, let's pop in here. A couple more people to talk to, and then I think we'll call her a day. Don't want the video to run on too long, especially when it's just talking. Oh, no problem. Yeah, we've got more Ave soldiers up here. Oh, apparently. Oh, so the Queen sent him on a mission. Wonder where he is. Now, I'm pretty sure that Wise Men told us in Nortune that he's actually dead, but, Oh, okay, we'll talk to, yeah, we'll talk to you, and then next time we'll talk to the other people in there. Because that's going to take a while to go through. Anyway, that's pretty much all the time I have for this episode of Let's Play Xenogears. I'm purposely moving over so that we don't see any of the people on the other side of this wall, because that I would have to talk about, which is why I can't do that today. So, that's, like I said, all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.